Sathya Sai Speaks, Volume 11, Chapter 27. The Seeds of a University. Bharat is the land that won renown in continents across the seas for her heroic achievements in the material as well as the spiritual fields that swept away the mighty cohorts of her imperial conquerors, that is, the nursery of famous scholars and investigators into the mysterious realms of the mind, that is, upholding high traditions of music, dance, painting, sculpture, and architecture that have their roots in the ancient days of adventure and achievement. This is the heritage that the sons and daughters of this country have to feed and foster. This is no weakling's task. It requires a generation of mothers like Kaushalya, who brought up Rama, Sita, who fostered the charming twins Love and Kush, Tarabai, who filled the heart of Shivaji with her earnestness and enthusiasm of epic heroes, and Putlibai, who shaped Mahatma Gandhi out of her hesitant and honest son. These mothers took the children on their laps, and through song and lullabies, through gestures and good stories, while feeding and rocking them to sleep, they poured into the precious vessels of their heart the nectar of the Vedas, the Upanishads, and the various yogas of Bharat. They charged them with power and charted the road to eternal joy and peace. Ma, mother, was the first word the children uttered and the last that man gasps. She teaches the first steps for the child's unsure feet, and she sets it on the long journey towards liberation. The process of education has become a trade. This day we are inaugurating the new building for the college dedicated to this purpose of having such ma's, mothers, for the revival of the Dharma which Bharat and the world so urgently need today. Today, all departments of life are reverberating with the raucous noise of anxiety and fear, uncertainty and insecurity. The main purpose of life is the acquisition of Ananda and the sharing of that Ananda with others. This has gone under, and a vast new number of desires, quite unrelated to the chief aim of the Vyakti individual who has to make his divinity patent, is emerging like lava from the subterranean fire. The Guru warns and waylays, but his words are not heeded. Man loathes the law and loves the lie. He gives ear to evil and invites iniquities on himself. Education does not seem to improve his plight in any manner or to any extent. The schools and colleges, once revered by the entire population as temples of Saraswati, the goddess of learning, as a means of attaining the supreme state of self-realization, have degenerated into temples for the goddess of wealth. For securing admission into the schools and colleges, money is demanded, contributions are sought. For the payment of a sum, the required attendance at classes will be certified as having been secured. A pass in the examination can also often be manipulated with the help of the purse. As a result of this decline in morality, discipline is reduced to shambles. Character is devalued, and the process of education has become a trade. As Srimati Saraswati Giri said, degrees and diplomas have become worthwhile because they entitle you for jobs. They are begging bowls with which you can clamor outside the doors of offices and factories. Make the home that children love to cherish. Srimati Giri said that the misery of some unemployed women is more pitiable than that of their brothers. This situation has arisen because the real significance of education has been missed by the educated, educators, and educatees. Education must strengthen the springs of Ananda, Prema, and Shanti, bliss, love, and peace, that are inherent in the heart. These should not be dried in the dusty years of study. Man is, in essence, a fountain of eternal joy, peace, love, and devotion. Cultivate these by precept, example, and exercise during the formative years. Then the educated will have security and sweetness as long as they live. Of course, livelihood has to be earned, but when, as happens now, both husband and wife attend office away from home, children grow up on the lap of nursemaids and the shoulders of servants, learning their language and manners. The father and mother become casual strangers when the food they eat is not prepared by loving hands and served with affectionate smiles. The savor disappears and the vibrations are often vile. The mother, as a teacher, attends school, leaving her natural role as a teacher of her own children. This is indeed a tragedy. The house where such parents live can never become the home that children love to cherish in memory. The securing of jobs cannot be allowed to overshadow the real purpose of education. Women have to cultivate the qualities of sacrifice and attachment, of virtue and wide vision, so that they can lovingly transform their mates and children into seekers and sadhakas on the way to success. At present, colleges are infected by anxiety and perplexity, discontent and ill discipline, irreverence and futility. They have lost the status of temples of learning, where youth is shaped into self-reliant, contented, and enterprising heroes. When I identified these defects, deficiencies, and dangers which are rampant in the country, I resolved upon this college in Rayalaseema at Anantapur. Gurukula atmosphere should be fostered. I am never satisfied with the declaration of intentions. I must taste the ananda, bliss of putting them into action. I express my love through every act, every intention of mine. More than floods of eloquence in praise of that intention and millions of words written in elaboration of the theme, I insist, by my own example, on immediate and complete fulfillment. This will be a Gurukul, a place where teachers and taught will grow together in love and wisdom, as close to the ideas of the hermitages of the past as possible under present conditions. Today is the Guruvar, Thursday. It is also Guru Purnima, the day set apart for adoration of the Guru, the preceptor. It was mentioned just now that this must prove to be the nucleus of a women's university. But I am not enamored of that prospect. I will be happy only when the Gurukula atmosphere is fostered and maintained, uncontaminated. Women must emerge from this college armed with deep-rooted virtue and firm faith in the ideas of womanhood laid down in our sacred texts. Only then can they, as mothers, mold their children as bright, beautiful, virtuous, strong citizens of the world. This is the only way out of the horror in which the world is simmering. India should regain the status as preceptor of mankind. Now, the education that is being given in schools for girls and in women's colleges helps only to make them desirable wives, not desirable mothers. The role of the mother, which is the natural, native, and inescapable role, this is neglected. The subsidiary, short-lived scintillation is given prominence. I am glad that the hostel building was inaugurated today by Srimati Saraswati Giri, who provides the ideal I desire to hold forth before the girl students who will be residing and studying in the hostel now and in later years. The words she spoke about the dangers of imitating alien cultures and the validity of the ancient mores of this land have to be remembered by them as an inspiration. If those words are treasured and acted upon, India can regain the status she long held as the preceptor of mankind. India shone for centuries as the Karma Bhumi, land of sanctified activity, where each activity of man was ennobled by high purpose and the sense of dedication. She was therefore acclaimed as Yoga Bhumi, the land where the people yearned for communion with God. She was revered as the Tyaga Bhumi, where the ideal of the mendicant monk, the naked fakir, the simple monarch counseled by the sage, was placed before the people through precept and example. At the present time, however, it is being forged into a Bhoga Bhumi, the land of skyscrapers, air conditioning, and tinned foods, an imitative, insurgent, indisciplined mass of humanity pulled from its roots and transplanted in other soils. This is an insult to our past, a defiance of history. It is a sacrilege on the sanctity of time, the holiness of the human body, and on the consecration which each activity can well become. Peace is the most priceless possession of man. The seed has been planted today. It has to sprout and spread as a tree, heavy with fruits. It has to confer security and sustenance to all. Srimati Saraswati Giri said that while she is happy that this great institution has come up, in the town which is the place of her birth, she can get undiminished happiness only when all those who are poor are enabled to get food, clothing, and housing. Of course, these are basic requirements for man. But let me ask, do people who have these, even a surplus of them, enjoy mental peace? Are they free from anxiety, fear, malice, and hate? Peace is the most priceless possession of man. It is the sign of a virtuous character, a willingness for service, a readiness to renounce, a calm spirit of resignation, an awareness of the evanescence of material wealth, of the cool, agitationless lake of joy in the heart. You are all broiling in the sun, and I do not desire to cause further suffering. We shall gather again in the evening, when I can speak to you at greater length on Guru Purnima and its meaning. Anantapur, July 8, 1971. There are people who go about declaring that there is no God because they are not able to see Him. They say that they have searched in space on the way to the moon and even on the moon, but there was no sign of the Almighty. Do you assert that there are no roots for trees, that nothing feeds them or upholds them from below? God feeds, sustains, holds firm, unseen. He can be seen by those who make the effort, along the lines laid down for the purpose, by those who have succeeded in experiencing Him. God is as butter in milk, visible when concretized by sadhana, spiritual striving. God is the great unseen, the vast unknowable. Though you do not see the roots or know how far or how wide or deep they are clutching the earth, you pour water round that trunk so that it may reach them, is it not? You expect that when the roots contact the water, the tree will yield fruit. Recognize similarly that there is God as the very basis of creation. Pray to Him, and He will shower fruit. Sri Sathya Sai Baba.